Archangel Michael warns someone is stopping your miracle. But you need to know everything is moving in your direction and you won't want to miss a single word. Let's be clear about what's going on here before we start. You're not going to hear someone talk about God alone. This is what the Holy Spirit is putting on my heart right now for you. These thoughts aren't just from someone on the outside. These words come from the one who made you before you had a name. They are being spoken now so that you can understand what's already coming your way. Please sit down, chosen one. I really mean it, not just what I say. Let your body rest wherever you are. Do not hold yourself up. Get your hands off of what they're on and spread them out, because you won't fully understand what I'm about to say if your mind or body are busy. You can't run away from what's coming into your life. You can only let it in. And to really welcome something, you need to change the way you've been for years. Please be quiet and wait for me to finish what I'm about to say. You've had a lot on your shoulders for a long time. It's not just the hard things you've been through, though those are real and tough. Worrying about whether any of it meant anything has also been on your mind. The weight of being loyal when things were calm. Rooms that seemed completely empty were filled with the weight of prayers. Every morning was hard because you had to decide to keep going even though you couldn't see any reason to. That morning has been there for me every single time. Each and every one, it's important that you understand this. None of them were for nothing. You're not here by accident. You got to this message, these words, and this spot in your life through something much bigger than luck. You'll know not only what's coming to you, but also why all the hard times were worth it to get here. Because something big is about to happen in your life. It's not a small piece. You won't find it easy to deal with, comfortable, or something that fits in with your current life. Big things are coming your way right now, and you'll need both hands to hold them. At first it grew slowly, but now it feels like it needs to be taken care of right away, which doesn't quite match what your daily life shows you. A sense that something big is about to happen, or that the air around you has changed in a way that your mind can't fully understand, but your spirit does. You've been attempting to describe it as you try to figure out whether the faith you're feeling is real or just wishful thinking. Now is the time for me to answer. What you've been feeling isn't just your imagination or wishful thinking. The feeling you've been having is an early sign of what's to come. Like how the air changes before it rains. Sometimes it's strange how quiet a room is before someone important walks in. What you've been feeling is true, and you're right to feel it. Your prayers may feel different to some of you. You didn't ask for things like you used to. Some part of you stopped negotiating with heaven and started to just rest in it. That change didn't happen because you chose it to. It just happened to you over time. You didn't know if you had given up, if your faith had just faded, or if you were just too tired to ask anymore when it happened. Now, I want you to let go of your fear. What changed in your prayer life isn't being tired. It means you've arrived. At the same time, I started getting things ready. You stopped having trouble with prayer. Those two things are linked, not just by chance. You can't receive something that you're holding on to tightly. It's not worse to have an open hand than a closed one. A hand that is open is ready to receive. Some of you have been pulling away from people lately. Not because you're angry or proud, but because you felt a quiet voice inside telling you that the next part of your journey doesn't need the same group of people who have been with you. You may have felt bad about taking a step back. You may have asked yourself if there's something wrong with you, or if you spend too much time by yourself. You're fine. You were being set apart. Being alone is not the same as being set apart. It's like you don't belong anywhere. The other is getting ready to belong in a different way. There is a group of people whose energy matches the season you're walking into, not the one you're leaving. Waiting for you after this time of being apart. The pulling away wasn't breaking links. It was showing you the way. If your spirit just agreed with what I said, type 777, you are being pulled away on purpose. And the one who led you wants you to know that it's almost over. There are some of you who feel a deep peace mixed with a sadness that you can't quite put your finger on. You miss the way your life used to be. Not always because it was great, but because it was what they knew. Even the happy endings are sad. Even the ones you prayed for, I pay attention to that. I honor it. But here's what that mix of happiness and sadness really means. The ending isn't the end of your story. This is the end of a chapter that wasn't long enough for what I'm writing next. The sadness is like putting the last page of a book away. And the new chapter that starts now isn't just a repeat of the last one. The story is very different and takes place on a very different level. Some of you have been having strange dreams lately. Not scary ones, but unique ones. Dreams where something was said or shown that made you feel bad for days and you couldn't forget or tell anyone about it. You were afraid to talk about them. Because you didn't want to seem weird or dramatic. Don't forget about them. I talk to people at night while I'm getting ready for better times. In your dreams, you're not just making up stories to make yourself feel better. It's like getting important news. You'll get a sneak peek of what's to come before it comes out in full. Please know that every seed you plant in this mission grows into a torch that shines in someone else's darkness. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. But more than your support, we want your presence. When you head to our community through the link in the description or the pinned comment, you aren't just visiting a site. You are entering a community of like-minded believers. This is a sanctuary where you can post your prayer requests, lift up the burdens of others, and engage in daily discussions with a family that speaks the language of faith. Whether you are joining one of our membership tiers for deeper study, sowing a seed of faith, or simply joining our daily morning prayers, you are helping us build a global altar of worship. Heaven moves through willing voices, but it grows through a community that stands together. Each gift you give acts as living water for those in our community seeking healing and hope. Give and it will be given to you is the promise that sustains our shared mission. I invite you now to step out of the shadows and into this circle of prayer. Come with purpose. Join the conversation and plant your seed in fertile ground. Let's open the heavens together. Release your seed today. Join our community and see what God brings back into your life. That's not all. Most of you listening right now have been waiting for so long that it's become a part of who you are after being in it for so long. You don't know who you are without it. While you wait, this has become your home address. What's about to change isn't just what shows up. When it comes, it's who you are. Because the time you had to wait wasn't just for what I was planning for you. It had to do with what I was making you. That's the part one want to show you now. There are more than just a bunch of random signs I want you to hold on to. In this case, there is a clear pattern here. Getting rid of things that don't fit anymore. How your prayers have changed. The unique dreams. The sadness for no clear reason. That weird piece that doesn't make sense. The sense that something is getting closer. It all adds up to one big truth. You are on the verge of the most important time in your life. This message was brought to you so you would know about it before it comes, not just after. You have been listening for some time. You're still here. That's not a little thing. People who need to see this message don't scroll past it. They stay. And you already know why you're still here. Something specific about that closeness feeling is what I want to talk about. A lot of you have been feeling tense between two different emotions. The first is the feeling that something big is about to happen and your life will change forever. The second is being tired from feeling that way before and then seeing months or years go by without the thing you thought was coming soon. Feelings of hope have let you down before. Now you have that feeling and a shield around you that says, don't get too invested in case it doesn't happen. That careful doubt is something I want to talk to with love. You weren't wrong when you felt close to someone in the past but didn't get what you were hoping for. They were real. It didn't look like what you had in mind when it arrived. You did feel movement, but you were seeing it through the lens of what you thought it would be like. The way I feel now is different. It wasn't louder or more dramatic. It was calmer and quieter, more like knowing than hoping. If you feel that way, you can be sure that a certain season is coming. Some of you have felt like someone or something has been helping you behind the scenes over the past few weeks or months. Not just an emotional sense of being cared for, but also a sense that plans are being made, pieces are moving, and your name is being called in places you haven't even been invited yet. That's how you should feel right now. Your spirit is picking up on what's going on in the background of your life. This season wasn't something you hoped for. It was something you were carried into. What's going on inside you hasn't yet caught up with the rest of your life. The people around you don't see any changes. There's a movement inside you, though, that you can't see yet. A weight that isn't a burden and pressure that isn't pain. It's not because I'm slow that the outside hasn't matched the inside. I do it because I'm thorough. We can't rush what I'm making for you or it will break. The person who is going to receive the blessing has to be a certain size, and the process that makes that size takes time. This process is almost over. That's what I'm saying now. Your shaping is almost done. And when it's over, what was planned for you will be given to you. You'll fully understand something you can't fully grasp until this huge thing comes into your life, which it will. You'll understand that it's huge for more than one reason before you get there. It's huge because the person who gets it has been made big enough to hold it without falling over. The blessing and the person who carries it go well together. It took me a while to send this to you because I wanted you to be ready to handle it without getting trapped in it. That person is now you. There was a girl named Mary. Everyone around her thought she was just another young woman. There was nothing in her life that made her think. She was picked to do what was asked of her. There was no important title, no power, and no proof that the job she was about to get made sense to a person. Suddenly, a message showed up. There was no warning, no time to get ready, and no reason in the world for her to be sure of herself. There wasn't a talk, a contract with rules, or a detailed plan with backups. Just a message. You have found favor. Something that has never been carried before will be yours to carry. And her answer, which changed everything, wasn't about whether or not she was good enough. It wasn't an ask for more time to get ready. What were the most simple and powerful words in the language of faith? Let it be to me as you said. As soon as she gave up trying to control herself and let go, the impossible began to take shape inside her. And I want you to know something very important about how that story went. The planning didn't happen before the news came out. Because of the announcement, the planning took place. The shape was caused by the favor. She wasn't made first and then picked. She was picked first and then she was shaped. This is how I do things. It will test the part of you that has been trying to get ready first to clean up your life before applying for the job, to prove yourself before waiting for the word. That's not the right order. What's going to happen to you was planned before you were even eligible. And the qualifying has been going on during the calling, not before it. What I've been building in you isn't based on what you've done. Because you're willing to give in. It wasn't just an act of discipline. Every time you let go instead of forcing things to go your way, stayed in a situation that didn't seem to have a clear reward, or prayed instead of trying to fix things yourself. Those were times when things changed. That kind that doesn't make a noise while it's going on. Of the kind that isn't clear until something big shows up to show what was built. I want to tell you what was being built during each hard time, because I think you should know what the hard time was for. When you were feeling lonely, I was building your deep inner strength, the ability to stand firm in something bigger than being a part of a certain group or person. So that you won't really need the people of your next season when they come. You'll be happy to have them. When you were turned down, I was teaching you to be wise and figure out what really fits your calling instead of what feels natural and comfortable. When you were having trouble with money, I was building your faith in help that doesn't come from your own ability to make it. So when abundance comes your way, you'll know it wasn't because of your own hard work. And you'll hold it with open hands instead of grabbing it tightly. During times when your prayers didn't go answered, I was teaching you to trust a timeline that isn't yours and doesn't need your understanding to work. Every limit was a place to test things. Every door that shut was a lesson. The lessons weren't a punishment. They were getting ready. The word in Old Hebrew for this process is isaf. It means to use fire to make pure. To heat something until it's pure and nothing else is left. People who work with gold don't burn gold because it has no value. Gold is put in the fire by goldsmiths because it is valuable enough to be made pure. You didn't get into trouble because you're broken. You went through hard times because what's inside you is worth the work it takes to become pure. That lie that says the hard times show you're missing something has been with you through all of them. That things would go better if you were more religious, spiritual, or aligned. Listen up. The fire doesn't show that I'm mad at you. There's proof of how much I care about you in the fire. I don't set things on fire that I don't care about. Please take a deep, honest breath here. This is not just a practice. Take some time to think about what was said before we move on. Right now, there's nothing you need to fix. You don't need to think about what to do next. You just need to take in what is being said and give it some time to settle. If something changed in you during this part of the message, type I see it. That should be your sign for what your spirit just told you. Now I want to talk about something that has to do with how the mind is actually made to take in what I give. A part of this message isn't just about spirituality in a general sense. Not only that, but it also tells you exactly how your brain was meant to work and what has been stopping it. I want to name it now because it will be different after I name it. There's more to what you've been feeling as a block than just spirituality. It has a frequency, too. Your brain has been trained to work in a certain way by years of pushing yourself hard, showing off and always doing math. This has blocked the state of the brain where receiving happens, not accomplishing or performing, just receiving an open channel. And there's something that was made 300 years ago to handle that very thing. There is a pattern of sound that has been passed down from wise teachers to students without a break for 33 centuries that opens up the channel that the striving frequency has blocked. Yes, there is a path just for people whose spirit has been drawn to this kind of healing. The answer is in the message's description and the comment that was pinned below it. You don't have to do it. It's just a door for those whose spirit says yes before this message ends. I'll say more about this. Let's go back to shaping because we haven't named the most important part yet. You are being taught how to handle what is coming your way without being overwhelmed by it. Because big things need big boxes. In the end, every season, every closed door, and every delay were all parts of the process of making that container bigger. You're not behind. You're right where the shaping needed you to be, and it's done. A lot of people get the wrong idea about how I provide. That's what I want to teach you. Now, when things happen in life, most people believe that it's because they earned or deserved them. That a blessing is something you get for being spiritually good. Let go of that way of thinking completely because what's coming to you isn't pay. It's not a return on money spent. It has nothing to do with how hard you try or how spiritually good you are. What's coming is a gift. And gifts don't depend on who gets them. Gifts depend on who gives them. Big things are coming into your life and it's not because you earned them. It's huge because the person giving it doesn't have any limits or accounts to balance. I always give everything I have to offer. What I can give you has no limits that you can think of from where you are. There are 3 things that are happening at the same time for you. Not because everything comes in threes, but because these 3 currents have been building up at the same time and are about to meet in your life at the same time. The first is a link to other people. The right people for your next season are already on their way to you. They might not look the way you thought they would. For some reason, they might not show up the way you've been looking, but they have something you need for your trip. You won't be able to explain them, but you'll know them by how peaceful you feel. You will have a meeting, or you may have already had one, where you told yourself, this is for this season. It wasn't just your mind making that feeling up. That was direction. Watch out for people who bring you peace instead of stress when they come into your life. The second is a new source of food that is opening up that you haven't been keeping an eye on. This is how I usually work when I'm having a breakthrough. I close the door you were looking at for long enough for you to look somewhere else. When you shift your attention to something else, you see the door I actually prepared. You already have everything you need for the next season. They're on their way to you already. It's not your job to make them happen or come up with ideas for them. It's your job to be ready to greet them when they get there. You are more open now than you have been in a long time. The third is getting back something that was taken from you without your permission. Something you cried over and then came to terms with, something you closed the door on because it hurt too much to keep open. Know this. Just because you accept a loss doesn't mean it will last forever. I leave some things out of one season so that I can bring them back in a better form in another. The version you lost wasn't the last one. You are getting back. The version that couldn't have been given to the you that existed when it was first taken. Someone bigger and more skilled was needed to carry it. It's not a copy, the return. It will be better and it's on its way. In the fourth place, I want to talk about something that isn't quite a blessing. In a more accurate sense, it is more like an installation. You'll start acting from a level of authority you haven't had before this season. It's not a job or title. Not the kind that needs a stage or a cool job. The power of God. The kind that only someone who has been through the fire and come out with something real can get. The kind that makes a room quiet when you walk in. Because of the weight of what you carry, not because you're trying to be strong. Every spirit in the room can feel it. You are now being given that authority. It will be clear when what you say goes deeper than you meant. You won't know this because you'll feel strong. That's the weight of what everyone has worked to shape you over the years coming through your voice. Please press the like button slowly just so this message can reach one more person who is having a hard time with the silence and doesn't know when it will end. Before I show you the exact path that was planned for this season, let me say one more clear and steady sentence. I want what's coming next to settle into the calm, logical part of you instead of the emotional part that's been swirling. The clear truth is that you have been in a season of purposeful shaping. There was no point in waiting. The preparation is done. The amount of power you have now is exactly right for what's coming. That's the reason why. And the what has a form that is both old and useful that I want to show you. Here's the truth. After everything this message has been about, not only were you made to strive, but also to receive. Your brain was made to have an open channel of reception before the world taught it otherwise. This is called alpha activation, and it's a state that ancient wise men spent 300 years keeping secret. The constant calculating, proving, and noise of modern life shuts down that state. But that shutdown won't last forever. It can be turned around. The ancient way to fix it is still there. That's the useful part. Who is who? You are the one whose shaping is done and whose hands are opening. Indian sages tuned a sound 300 years ago in temples whose stones can still be seen today. It wasn't for a show or a ceremony. It was just one thing to make it possible for what had been promised to finally come true. They knew that there was a state of the mind where receiving could happen freely and a state where it was completely blocked long before any modern tool could measure it. The open state was known as the doorway, the receiving channel, and the posture of the child. The blocked state was known as the noise of striving, the closed fist, and the frequency of constant reaching without resting. They also made a sound structure that was designed to get rid of that striving noise and bring back the receiving channel. They kept it alive in 9 words and a certain sound pattern that was passed down from teacher to student and generation to generation without a break for 3,300 years. These wise people talked about the receiving channel, which we now measure as alpha activation. These things were once known as striving noise, but these days we call them beta hyperactivity. The old names and the new measurements both refer to the same thing, but they use different words to describe it. Someone from today whose name won't be given out because the long lineage is more important than a single person left the noise of everyday striving and spent decades looking for what the Vedic tradition still held. He found the 9-word text in its entirety. He found that the sound structure was still there. He put them both in a way that modern ears could understand. It was known as the wealth signal by him. It's a 5-minute audio that uses the special binaural sound pattern that the Vedic sages encoded along with the 9-word text that was passed down through their line to lower beta hyperactivity and raise alpha activation. This gets rid of the striving frequency that stops you from receiving and raises the state that was dimmed in you by the noise of the world you were born into. Ask and it shall be given. It was never about making money. It's always been about how you do things. People who get things don't work harder than those who give them. They are the ones whose line is free. The wealth signal is an old way to get back to that channel that was open. It all comes back to the posture of the child that the Bible talked about. Going back to the state where the promised thing can finally happen. The ancient Vedic sages thought of Alpha as the state of mind of a child who hasn't learned to doubt their father's care. The wealth signal gives you the most useful hands-on way to get back that attitude right now in just 5 minutes. This path has been used by more than 19,500 people. A lot of people, more than 95 out of every 100, don't say that big. Sudden events are the main change. Their basic state changed. They felt calmer and things started to come in a different way. This wasn't because they worked harder. It was because the channel through which things come in was fixed. It was always there, but the noise was blocking it out. The normal cost is $49. It costs $39 for the people this message is for. There are 4 extra resources that come with the audio. All of these things are worth more than $338, but you don't have to pay extra for them. The path is in the message's description and the comment that has been pinned below it. It's there for people whose hearts say yes. It's not a deadline or pressure, but a promise. The ones I deal with take care of a certain type of person at a certain stage of their life. This one, before you use anything in the description, you should carefully check the source. This is exactly what the real path looks like. There are copies everywhere that real paths exist. Do not let confusion keep you from what was put there just for you. The real door is in the quote and the description. Those are the only 2 spots. Open the door for those whose hearts were moved by what was said. It will stay open. There is more to learn about this message for those who are still reading it. Now, I need to name something that most chosen people who are at this turning point are just now becoming aware of. It's not an enemy spirit from outside because it's an internal pattern that has helped you get through every tough time. It could now be the only thing standing between you and the big thing. The word for it is unworthiness. Not the angry, loud kind, the calm type. The kind where your mouth says yes, but your heart doesn't quite agree. It shows up when you downplay your experiences, try to explain away signs that point to the truth, or tell yourself that you're probably making too much of things. It seems like they can't fully accept a blessing or a promise from God without adding an asterisk to it right away. There's a tendency to feel more at ease giving than receiving, which is a nearly automatic way of turning anything that suggests you deserve the full promise around. It's not like this pattern appeared out of thin air. At some point it was dangerous to need something. Wanting was pushed down. When you took up as much space as your real size, you were punished or not cared about. It learned to stay small around your blessing. Even though its job is to keep you safe above all else, so that neither the blessing coming nor could break you. But that safety measure has done its job. You are no longer safe with it. I want you to let go of it because it's the only thing standing in the way. Not all at once, but just enough. Just enough to let what is huge really sink in without making up a reason right away why it probably doesn't mean what it clearly means. It is okay for you to receive. You are free to live the whole life that was planned for you before you were given a name. You can be the one who finds the blessing as well as the one who gives them to others. There is no need for that quiet asterisk when you say yes to the promise. If you think the word was specific enough to include you, that's fine. Stop putting yourself down in order to feel safer about your situation. You are bigger than your calling. You can grow past the smallness that you learned during hard times to help you stay alive. Being small helped you at that time. That won't help you with what's coming. And you don't have to keep your small past in your life forever. If you just agreed to let go of that protection, type the words, "I receive." Let that statement be the key that opens the door. As this awakening grows inside you, know that helping with this mission is not a joke. It is a sign from God. You can support this work through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our Ko-fi community. By doing so, you become part of Jesus' plan to save souls who are still stuck in fog. Every seed turns into light that fights against darkness. If you water others, you will be watered yourself. Jesus says, this is not history. It is a living promise about your future. Come into this moment with faith and a plan. What God has already planned for your life can be unlocked through your giving. There is one more thing that needs to be said before this ends. It has to do with who you really are. Not as a performance or a list of circumstances, but as a mission. You bring light into places that have forgotten what it's like to be lit up. And just being there changes what was dark without you even having to do anything. You've known this all your life, but you never had the right words to say it. You leave talks better than when you arrived. It takes you a long time to see what's possible in people. That's not just a trait of yours. That's a function, a specific function that was given. That's why some people come to you when they're having a hard time, even if they can't explain why. You're the voice that says what other people are feeling but can't say. When you're at your most open and honest, some of the things you say can make the people around you feel something. You can say things that were sad, hopeful, or confusing that no one else could. That's more than just good language. That has to do with your mission. Your voice was not given to you as a personal tool, but as a way to help everyone you need to reach. People who needed your words don't get them when you shut it down because you feel small, scared, or like you don't have enough power. Breaking the cycle is what you do. You are the one who breaks the pattern of what happened in your family and in the community around you. This is not because you chose to be unique, but because you were put at this exact point in history, family, geography, and time to be the one who sees it and says, this is where it ends. That's not a bother. That's the most clear and carefully picked honor I can give. You shouldn't keep telling yourself these things until you believe them. This is a description. You don't have to work for your mission. You are that thing. What's coming your way isn't a reward for carrying it. You can carry it at the full size it was meant to be carried because you have the right tools. Before we end, I want to do something with you. Stand up in your mind. Not where you are now, but in the version of your life that comes after what's going to happen. Picture yourself there, not as someone who is still waiting, but as someone who has already received. Feel that way and stay there. Feel what it's like to not have to wait. Feel the calm eyes, the open hands, and the quiet that isn't empty, but full. Take note that this copy of you still sounds and looks like you. How you look doesn't make a difference. There is a difference in the frequency, the inner state, the lack of buzzing noise and the presence of what was there before. That version of yourself is real. I have been working toward that goal through every season you have been through. It has never been closer between where you are now and where that version of you is. I'd like to end this message with the thing I really wanted to say to you. Not an outline or a set of steps, but the truth itself. I see you. Not the version that does everything for other people and manages it all. Not the one that comes up when things are simple, but the one who is tired, alone, and carrying something too personal to talk about with anyone. The one that has been true in the dark, the quiet, and the long mornings when continuing to go cost more than anyone will ever fully understand. Oh, that version is the one I love the most. That version was seen. It was seen in every single moment in the quiet. No one forgot about you. You were safe inside it. The forgotten are hidden from everyone, even their maker. They are hidden for a while because what is being built inside them needs to be kept from being seen until it's ready. Your anonymity kept you safe. Your waiting was building. The building is now complete. Now I speak over you, not because you deserve it, but because this word is yours and it's time to receive it. This moment, not a different one, not one that is easier or has more resources, but this one is what you were made for. You have a unique history and have held on to certain things while praying and refusing to give up on them. The person in this exact combination and at this exact time and place is the one for whom what's coming was planned. It's not too late. You're not behind. You arrived just in time for something that needed the exact version of you that you are now. Give back what was taken from you without your permission. Let go of the years of silently carrying heavy loads. Let go of the closed doors collection. Let go of the sadness that comes from the almost breakthrough, the almost open door, the season that wasn't meant to be the entrance, but turned out to be a waiting room. Let go of everything. Give it up. You can't hold on to the past and receive the future at the same time. It's not that it didn't matter. What is coming can't be held by the hands that are holding on to what was. What was taken from you during the times you don't want to remember is coming back to you. Your life didn't lose any years of confusion. Even though it felt like you lost them, it cost money to do. And money spent pays off with more. Your life doesn't add up the way you've been figuring it out. I've been counting the time you've been calling lost as time spent forming. There is no loss of formation time. It's the most productive time in the whole journey of a calling. You are not someone who got smaller during hard times. Through going through hard times, you grew, became more capable, rooted deeply, and more specifically ready for the mission than the person you would have been without those changes. That's what I made you. That's what you are. And the huge thing that's coming your way was made just for you in this way. I am ready with all of your might. In that statement, you should agree with the one who made you, kept you safe, and has been building you up for your next season with the same care that was used to make you before you took your first breath. Now it's quiet. Let what was said stick. You can feel it move from the top of your hearing to the parts of you that have been waiting to believe again. You're not going to leave this message alone. Someone said something to you that can't be taken back. You were named something that you can't take back. During this time, something changed in you that your circumstances haven't caught up with yet. They will, though, just one more thing before you leave. You left early because you didn't have anything else to do. You stayed because you knew deep down that this was meant just for you. I want to respect that. If this message confirmed something you've been feeling, if it put into words a sadness or hope you've been carrying in silence, or if it brought peace to something that was upsetting, then let your light be your agreement, not for anyone else, but for yourself that you got what was put here for you. Stay connected if you want to keep getting these kinds of messages as the seasons change. More words are being written to get ready for the next part. What was said here is not the last word. It's just the beginning of more. This post about restoring the frequency of reception, the 3,300-year Vedic tradition and the modern path built from it touched a lot of people. The door is in the description and the pinned comment. It's there. It doesn't run out. The right time is when your spirit confirms it in a quiet way. Before you leave, one last thing. If you thought of someone while you were listening today, someone who has been strangely quiet lately, someone who has been pulling away from everyone and can't quite explain why, someone who seems stable on the outside, but you can tell something deeper is going on, text this to that person. Send it any way you can, because this message could be the one that tells them what they're going through is not punishment. They are getting ready and they are almost done. At the same time, the huge thing is moving toward them. That's what they deserve to hear. You haven't left a message. You're ending a season. Go be the person you were meant to be all along. Before we get to the end of this powerful story, let's reflect on this deep truth. You did not find this message by accident. This is a divine appointment meant specifically for you. You are being invited into a protected, faith-filled community at the link in the description and pinned comment. A place where divine abundance is not just a hope but a promise built on the Word. By heading to the site right now, you are unlocking access to a sacred community of like-minded believers. When you join our membership tiers, you gain immediate entry to powerful content, daily devotions, and divine insights that are hidden from the world. This is your chance to enter a sanctuary where you will receive spiritual guidance, unwavering support on our prayer wall, and speedy progress toward your destiny. Do not let this moment of destiny pass you by. Your breakthrough is waiting. Join our inner circle through the exclusive link in the description. This is how you guarantee you never miss the personalized messages and spiritual warfare tools meant to elevate your life. If you feel called to deepen your connection, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. For those who want to amplify this work and carry the light home, you can find our guided ebooks and Bibles in the pinned comment. Whether you join as a member or sow a seed through our resources, your presence and energy change the world. Take the step. Your abundance awaits. You are about to enter your divine future. But remember, this breakthrough is not for you alone. Your testimony is the bridge someone else will use to reach their own miracle. Archangel Michael is inviting you to visit community through the link in the description or the pinned comment. Whether by buying a coffee, making a donation, or becoming a member of our community, does not go to a channel. Your actions are supporting a divine mission to save lost souls. By joining our like-minded community, you are no longer praying in isolation. You are adding your voice to a global sanctuary where we discuss the Word daily and stand in the gap for one another. This is not poetry. When Jesus says, "Give, and heaven will open over you." On this platform, every seed you plant turns into oil for your destiny, fire for your calling, and a hedge of safety for your family. Now is your time. Step into our community prayer wall. Share your heart, and as you give, watch God multiply what you let go of. Let's finish this journey together. Visit our community now. Join the family and see your heavens.